Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, a deal to avert a trade war, the new concern in Southern California, and a Super Bowl rematch. Breaking overnight. With the U.S. and Colombia on the brink of a trade war over President Trump's deportation flights, both sides announce an agreement. As ICE steps up its immigration crackdown, spanning from Chicago to Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Omaha, and three of President Trump's most high-profile and controversial nominees all face confirmation hearings this week.
Mudslide threat. The first rain falling in Southern California since the deadly wildfires. Crews now working to combat the potentially toxic runoff from destroyed homes.
ABC News exclusive. Former Danity Kane singer Dee Woods breaks her silence on working with Sean Diddy Combs.
It was even scary to be by yourself.
Alleging a verbally abusive work environment, inappropriate advances towards another member of the girl group, why she's speaking now.
Was there anyone you could have talked to about it?
Absolutely not. Each other.
There was no one to tell.
And whether she fears retribution, as Combs faces trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
Dramatic helicopter rescue. 3 skiers airlifted to safety.
Hey, it's gonna hurt a little bit, okay?
After 2 of them fell about 500 feet. How an iPhone alert helped save them.
But I got one thing right. You.
And here we go, right to the Big Easy.
And that will clinch it.
Patrick Mahomes working his magic.
And in for the touchdown.
Leading the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl for epic rematch with the Eagles.
There it is. Fly, Eagles, fly to Super Bowl 59.
Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley.
Saquon! Touchdown!
And the Eagles running back Will Shipley coming up big.
Shipley is in!
Shipley joins us live right here on GMA. Plus action. Our exclusive first look at the new young star of the Super Bowl this year, galloping into the week and into our hearts.
But I got one thing right. You.
Live from Times Square, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
And the Eagles and the Chiefs are heading right to the Super Bowl. And you hear that voice? That's Kane Brown. He's going to join us live in Times Square a little bit later.
A lot of people in the studio looking forward to that rematch, Robin. We are also looking forward to catching up with Eagles running back Will Shipley. Had a great game. You saw that play right there. And Will Reeve is with another big Super Bowl star this morning. Nay. We're going to hear from him in just a bit.
They put a smile on your face. We begin with the breaking news coming in overnight. An agreement between the Trump administration and Colombia to end a standoff over deportation flights and tariffs that could have raised prices for Americans on coffee and fresh flowers just ahead of Valentine's Day. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is in Miami, where Trump is meeting with Republican lawmakers. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And this was a tense standoff, a tit for tat between the United States and one of its most important allies in Latin America. But a senior administration official tells me all of it was designed to send a very clear message: accept these deportation flights or face the consequences.
With the U.S. and Colombia on the brink of a trade war over President Donald Trump's deportation flights, overnight the White House announcing an agreement has been reached. For hours, the two allies locked in a tense standoff after Colombia refused to accept 2 military deportation flights from the U.S., turning them away when the planes were already en route. President Trump responding, vowing to impose 25% tariffs on all Colombian imports, which experts say would have devastated Colombia's economy and raised the price of everything from coffee to crude oil, bananas, and flowers for U.S. consumers just before Valentine's Day. The United States is Colombia's largest trading partner. Colombian President Gustavo Petro fired back with tariffs of his own, insisting he would only accept migrants deported in civilian aircrafts who were treated with dignity and respect. The Colombian president referencing this deportation flight to Brazil. Authorities there say some were denied water and access to a bathroom. Overnight, the White House announcing the two sides have reached an agreement, vowing to hold off on those tariffs, but still imposing visa restrictions and halting visa services at the U.S. Embassy until those deportation flights land in Colombia. In a statement, the White House press secretary warning President Trump expects all other nations of the world to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States.
We don't allow people to enter our country and to dump their prisons into the United States of America anymore.
For the first time in U.S. history, military aircrafts have been used to deport undocumented migrants. Our Martha Raddatz sitting down with Trump's border czar, Tom Homan.
What about those countries that won't take them back?
Oh, they'll take them back.
What do you mean by that?
We got President Trump coming to power. President Trump puts America first.
Homan overseeing a steady increase in ICE arrests, with officials from multiple law enforcement agencies launching a joint operation in Chicago Sunday. Immigration crackdowns now spanning from Atlanta to Los Angeles and even Omaha.
So this morning in a statement, the Colombian government says that it has overcome an impasse with the United States, saying that they plan to send representatives to Washington, D.C. to meet with the Trump administration. But the White House press secretary says if Colombia violates any terms of this agreement, those tariffs are back on, George.
And Rachel, the president, in the words of his people, is flooding the zone with actions, including a move over the weekend to fire the independent inspector generals across the government. Even some of his allies are suggesting he didn't do it in a way that was legal.
Yeah, exactly, George. This was a late night purge. Sources tell us that President Donald Trump fired at least 17 inspectors generals. These are independent watchdogs charged with overseeing key agencies, making sure there's no waste, fraud, or abuse. The president is supposed to give Congress a 30 days notice if he intends to fire an inspector general. That did not happen. So this is even rubbing Republicans the wrong way. The president was asked directly about this. He said those were not his people and that he plans to replace them, George.
And the president doubling down on the pardon of those convicted for the riots on January 6th.
Yeah, and this was notable, George, because over the weekend, the president had a rally in Las Vegas. And one of the people that was seated in the VIP section was Stuart Rhodes. He's the founder of the Oath Keepers. He was convicted of seditious conspiracy, sentenced to 18 years in prison. That was until the president commuted his sentence. He was seated right behind the president as he was speaking. And he didn't just attend that rally in Las Vegas. I will tell you, just days ago, we saw him on Capitol Hill right after his sentence was commuted. I asked him directly that if he had any regrets about his actions on January 6th. He told me no, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks very much, Robin.
And George, we're going to turn now to the state of play for the confirmation of President Trump's nominees. Hearings for 3 of his most high-profile choices are set for this week. Jay O'Brien is tracking it all for us on Capitol Hill. Good morning to you, Jay.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. A jam-packed week ahead here on Capitol Hill of what are expected to be tense confirmation hearings for 3 of Donald Trump's most controversial hand-picked nominees, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's choice to run the Department of Health and Human Services, expected to get grilled by senators on false claims he's made about vaccines and antidepressants, to his push to get fluoride out of the drinking water. We know senators, too, preparing tough questions for Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's choice for Director of National Intelligence, zeroing in on past statements she's made sympathetic to Russia and a 2017 meeting she had with then Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. Kash Patel, tapped to run the FBI, also up here on Capitol Hill for his hearing this week, expected to get pressed by senators on past comments he has made, including openly talking about using the federal government to go after Donald Trump's political opponents. Now, the Senate working overtime this weekend to confirm Kristi Noem as the next Secretary of Homeland Security and approving Pete Hegseth to run the Pentagon by the narrowest of margins. Ultimately, 3 GOP senators voting no on Hegseth, including the former top Republican in that chamber, Mitch McConnell. Vice President J.D. Vance having to step in, provide Hegseth with that key tie-breaking vote, only the second time in U.S. history that a vice president has had to do that for a cabinet pick. George.
Okay, Jay, thank you. We're going to turn now to a new danger in Southern California, the threat of mudslides. Heavy rain in burn areas could trigger them. Trevor Alt is on the scene in Malibu. Good morning, Trevor.
Well, good morning, George. Well, everybody knew Los Angeles desperately needed rain in this weekend, and overnight they certainly got it, but it has brought with it a whole new slate of problems, mainly that threat of mudslides. When you have these charred out homes here, so many of them on extremely steep sloped hillsides just like this, you also have charred soil, and basically in every area that has these burn scars, with the rain coming down, it is at risk of mudslides. There were several of them that popped up overnight here in Malibu. They were under a flash flood warning overnight, and there were several flash flood watches in the surrounding area too. We know that crews have been responding to a number of them, trying to make sure they keep them contained, not just because they want to try to limit any further damage and to protect the homes that are still standing, but they're also trying to limit the amount of toxic runoff from these burnt out homes. They want to make sure that they don't get any of that runoff into the watersheds, because that brings a whole new level of concern. And you can even see here this morning on the Pacific Coast Highway where we have emergency vehicles going back and forth. They're trying to keep those vehicles in the center of the road because they're concerned about debris coming down, and the threat of these mudslides continues through today, Robin.
And we want to talk more about that. Our thanks to you, Trevor. So we'll bring in Ginger with more on the rain and the mudslide threat.
That's the thing, is the next few hours are still critical with the thunderstorms and even waterspouts at the coast possible. That's when you know the atmosphere is amped up enough to create much more rain. And this is after a weekend of getting the most rain they've seen in nearly 9 months. That's why it's a big deal, even if you get less than a half inch. And so you can see some of the warnings and watches that are still up, most of them in the mountains, but the Hughes fire burn scar is the one they're the most concerned about at the present moment until 10 a.m. Pacific time. Let's take it through though, because when you get elevation above 3,000 feet, you're going to add snow, and they've had to shut down I-5 for a time. This is actually a little farther south and east. This is Wrightwood Mountain, where you can see that snow was flying. It will move off, but as Trevor said, that doesn't end the mudslide threat, and then it will get into Arizona. You guys know Phoenix could break this week their longest stretch without measurable rain if they don't get it today or tomorrow at 160 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big deal.
What a stretch. Okay, Ginger, thank you. We go overseas now to the Middle East, and the ceasefire in Gaza holding after concerns over the weekend that it could fall apart, and remarks by President Trump saying he wants to, quote, clean out Gaza. Our foreign correspondent, Britt Clennett, has more.
This morning, tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians finally making their way back to what's left of northern Gaza, after the fragile ceasefire nearly came undone over the weekend. Israeli forces initially blocking Gazans from heading north after accusing Hamas of breaking the terms of the truce, saying they did not release a female Israeli hostage. Israel now says the woman, 29-year-old Abel Yahud, will be released on Thursday along with 2 other hostages, resolving the dispute and prompting Israel to reopen that corridor to North Gaza. The disagreement coming after the second round of Israeli hostages were released on Saturday. 200 Palestinian prisoners freed in return. And as the ceasefire in Gaza holds, President Trump is resuming shipments of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel. Deliveries that former President Biden partially withheld due to concerns they would be used on densely populated areas. Aboard Air Force One, President Trump saying Palestinians should leave Gaza for other countries.
I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing.
Both countries and Hamas rejecting the president's proposal, with critics pointing to his words as support for ethnic cleansing.
2 American hostages are among the 33 set to be released in phase 1 of this deal. Now, a source telling ABC News this morning that according to a list submitted by Hamas, 25 of those hostages are alive. Robin?
All right, our thanks to you, Britt. We're going to turn now to concerns growing over egg shortages. As we know, prices continue to skyrocket. Eva Pilgrim is here with what you could expect at the grocery store, and this is going to get any better anytime soon.
Yeah, Robin, I don't have to tell you, if you've been at the grocery store recently, you know, the incredible edible egg is expensive, and it's only going to get more expensive. The Department of Agriculture predicting that egg prices will go up 20% this year. The reason, a spike in bird flu cases right at the end of last year has now created a shortage of eggs. Experts are saying don't expect egg prices to come down anytime soon.
I know, but that makes people want to, stock up. That's not the right way to go.
You definitely should not go panic buy eggs. It only drives up the cost. And some grocers have actually put limits on how many cartons of eggs you can buy. The other thing to keep in mind, we are 83 days until Easter.
Thank you for that reminder.
You have time. There's time.
Thank you. We're going to turn now to the Super Bowl. Eagles and Chiefs will face off in a rematch from 2 years ago. Will Reeve, of course, is tracking all the games. Good morning, Will.
Good morning to you, George. Great couple of games yesterday. The Eagles were unstoppable, and the Chiefs, when it comes to their spot in the Super Bowl, are immovable these days. So perhaps it was inevitable that these two teams would meet on a collision course in New Orleans for the Super Bowl.
This morning, the Super Bowl is set.
The Kansas City Chiefs are the AFC champions. The Eagles advance to the Super Bowl.
The Kansas City Chiefs winning a thriller over the Buffalo Bills, the lead changing 6 times.
And that will clinch clinch it.
Bills QB Josh Allen doing a bit of everything, throwing for 2 touchdowns, including this one, a spectacular grab by receiver Mac Hollins.
And it is caught.
Who played like an animal and showed up dressed like one too.
Touchdown, Kansas City.
Winning by a field goal, 32-29. Led by who else? Patrick Mahomes.
In for the touchdown.
Willing his team to victory, rushing for 2 touchdowns, throwing a third. Perhaps Mahomes' only miss of the night was this botched spike after scoring a touchdown. The Chiefs' biggest fan on hand,
Kansas City.
watching as her boyfriend Travis Kelce belted out a tune of his own.
Do a little dance, make a little love.
Chiefs head coach Andy Reid leading the cheers.
How about those?
But it's heartbreak again for Buffalo. Despite the Bills appearing in the playoffs for 6 consecutive seasons, they haven't reached a Super Bowl in more than 30 years and haven't won one in franchise history. The Chiefs now have a chance to make history and win an unprecedented 3rd straight Super Bowl.
3 Chief, a Chief Pete, whatever it is, they're about to head to New Orleans.
Their opponent in the big game booked their tickets to the Big Easy earlier in the day.
Hurts is in! Fly Eagles fly to Super Bowl 59.
The Philadelphia Eagles were ready to soar even before kickoff.
Barkley, a little shovel.
On the Eagles' first offensive play, Saquon Barkley breaking off a 60-yard touchdown run to send the Philly fans into a frenzy.
Saquon! Touchdown!
Barkley rushing for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. In his first season with the Eagles, he's been a major reason why Philadelphia is back in the Super Bowl for the 2nd time in 3 years.
I always dreamed about it, but the dream wasn't just getting there. The dream was winning it.
The ball's out! Philadelphia, did they get on it? They did!
22-year-old rookie running back Will Shipley forcing a big fumble late in the first half.
And Will Shipley just gets his face right on the ball.
And scoring his first touchdown in the NFL.
Touchdown!
Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts celebrating with a well-earned cigar as the Eagles beat the Commanders 55-23. Eagles superfan Bradley Cooper elated. Philly fans flooding the streets, climbing the poles, taking over downtown, some setting off fireworks. Now the Chiefs and the Eagles ready for a super showdown.
So Saquon Barkley's contract reportedly has a bonus of $250,000 for making the Super Bowl, another $250K if they win it on February 9th, which also happens to be Barkley's birthday. And there's plenty of time for all the analysis and stats for George and all that. But the Chiefs at this point are inevitable, and they are also an institution in the Super Bowl at this point. Something these guys know a little bit about. This is why I'm in St. Louis with the Clydesdales, a Super Bowl institution. This is Jake. He's the star of the new ad, the 47th time the Clydesdales are in the Super Bowl. I'll have a lot more on that coming up in just a bit.
Did you just predict the Chiefs are going to win?
We got 2 weeks for that, man. I can't make my predictions yet.
I heard that too. I heard that too. Don't back down now. No, don't back down. Coming up, we'll have more on the Super Bowl from the Clydesdales to the quarterbacks.
Any of you stick around because you've got this exclusive about Sean Diddy Combs.
Dean Woods was in Diddy's orbit on that reality show, and as a member of girl group Danity Kane, she told me about what she says were troubling interactions with the music mogul, allegations he denies, why she feels like now is the time for her to share her story.
It's a very powerful conversation you had with her, Eva. Also, we'll switch gears to Madison Keys' triumph at the Australian Open. But
just getting started on a Monday morning. We'll be right back.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go.
Back here on GMA, one of the all-time favorite Budweiser Super Bowl commercials. That puppy loves the Clydesdales as much as we do. And this morning, you're going to see the new Budweiser Super Bowl ad and meet the Clydesdales with Will.
Let's just keep watching.
Yes.
That's coming up only here on GMA this morning.
Following a lot of headlines right now. Overnight agreement was reached between the Trump administration and Colombia to end a tense standoff after Colombia refused to accept 2 military deportation flights from the U.S. The White House announced they will hold off on tariffs but still impose visa restrictions. Also this morning, a new report investigating the Jeju air crash that killed 179 passengers and crew. Experts believe this could be a bird strike and a possible contributing factor to the crash. The bird remains were found in both engines.
Also right now this morning, we are observing International Holocaust Remembrance Day, marking the 80th anniversary of Auschwitz's liberation. And police are on the hunt for thieves who pulled off an overnight heist at a Dutch museum. The incident was caught on surveillance video as the thieves used explosives to blow open a door, and they made off with several gold artifacts, including the golden 5th century Romanian helmet. Wow, like a scene straight out of Ocean's 11 or 12 or 13.
I know, it goes on and on these
Yes,
days.
lots of options. And we've got a lot more ahead, including the heart-pounding helicopter rescue of 3 skiers caught on camera and how an iPhone alert helped save them. That is coming up.
Right now we have an ABC News exclusive. It's an interview with former Danity Kane singer Dee Wood. She's sharing new allegations about Sean Diddy Combs. Eva Pilgrim spoke with her. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning again, George. He was one of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry, but now music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is behind bars on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. This morning, Dee Woods, one of the members of Danity Kane, sharing what it was like to work for him.
This morning, with music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' criminal trial just months away,
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all did a great job today, ladies.
some of those who worked closely with the hitmaker describing for the first time their experiences. Dee Woods shot to fame as 1/5 of the chart-topping girl group Danity Kane after starring on MTV's popular reality show Making the Band 3.
The day we were chosen, I was like, it's bad boy for life, baby.
She says what should have been a dream come true quickly became something else, alleging Diddy created a verbally abusive work environment.
I'm curious why you decided to speak up now.
I would say that this moment now is a time where I feel like my experience, my truth will really be heard and actually considered and believed.
Dee Woods sharing her story as part of a new investigation discovery docuseries, The Fall of Diddy.
From the outside, he was this mogul. He was this guy who, could make your dreams come true.
Unsettling scenes like this, a reminder of what it was like on Making the Band.
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little thick?
I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
He did it in different ways with all of us. Picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you.
I see myself standing in those dark, scary, predatory spaces and hearing somebody say some of the most degrading things to me.
How was it predatory?
Somebody constantly treating you like a piece of meat. Only valuing you for your sex appeal. And in some of the environments, it was even scary to be by yourself.
Despite turmoil on and off camera, Danity Kane debuted to massive success. But that momentum came to a screeching halt when Diddy fired Aubrey O'Day and Dee Woods.
Based on a lot of things that I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you can go too.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
In the docuseries, Dee Woods claims she saw what she says were inappropriate communications from Diddy to Aubrey prior to their firing.
Was there anyone you could have talked to about it?
Absolutely not. Each other.
There was no one to tell?
Because what were they going to do? So it's like, how do we survive this?
Diddy has denied all allegations against him in the documentary. His attorneys telling ABC News the producers failed to provide sufficient time or details for his representatives to address unsubstantiated claims, adding he has full confidence in the facts and the judicial process where the truth will prevail. The accusations against him are pure fiction.
Are you afraid in some ways that he'll get out, that there'll be some sort of retribution?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even doing this, you know, it's like, maybe I shouldn't say, maybe I should stop talking, shut up, you know, but it's like, you know, well, not talking hasn't changed anything either.
Dee Woods has never stopped pursuing her passions, returning to her theater roots and even performing on Broadway.
What would you say to Diddy if you had the chance to talk to him?
Girl, I honestly do not know, but I don't think you really have to say anything. As long as I'm holding my head up high and my shoulders back.
And Dee Woods is still actively performing, actively auditioning. She laughed about how busy it is right now because it's pilot season, and she's hopeful about what's to come. The Fall of Diddy premieres tonight on Investigation Discovery, and it streams on Max. We watched the whole thing, our whole team.
Yeah.
There was a lot you haven't seen before.
All right. Okay. Well said. Thank you, Eva, as always. Now with more on the countdown to the Super Bowl that will be played right there in the Superdome in the Big Easy. It's going to be a battle of the two top quarterbacks in the league. Lara is here with more on Patrick Mahomes. But can we start with Ike Ajachi?
Of course.
He's there in Philly with the Jalen Hurts story. Good morning, Ike.
Hey, good morning, Robin. We are here in sunny South Philadelphia, right in front of Lincoln Financial Field, where just yesterday, Jalen Hurts added another career notch to his belt. And after being selected in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, Hurts became the starter next year and led his team to 4 straight playoff appearances. And 2 years ago, he appeared in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Now, this matchup for Super Bowl 59, yeah, it's surely going to be an epic rematch. Now, if the Eagles win the big game this time, it'll be their second Super Bowl win ever, all with the help of one of the highest paid quarterbacks in NFL history. Hurts signing that massive $255 million extension just almost 2 years ago. But here's the thing. Hurts, those accomplishments keep piling up. He had those 2 college national championship games, the 2 Super Bowl appearances, even those 2 Pro Bowl honor selections, and in 2 weeks, we'll see if we'll be able to take home the big game for the first time ever. Guys?
2s across the board there. All right, Ike, thanks very much. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, we're quite familiar with this.
Yes, let's do a little yin and yang. Here we go, Robin. So you don't have to be a football fan to know who Patrick Mahomes is. He's become a TV star in State Farm insurance ads, and of course, he's part of Taylor Swift's inner circle. And if you're a football fan, you know this man is absolutely exceptional at his job. Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He has won the MVP in each of those games. He was also the league MVP twice. And here are some stats for the Chiefs QB that you may not have heard. Since taking over as the starter in his second season, that was 2018, Mahomes has led the Chiefs to the conference finals every single year. He has won 5 out of 7 of those games. His record in Super Bowls is 3-1, and if he can help lead his Chiefs to victory in 2 weeks, it would be his and the team's 3rd straight. That is a first in NFL history. But Mahomes' legendary football career, did you know, almost didn't happen. He was actually drafted, there he is, by the Detroit Tigers in 2014. He ultimately chose football over baseball, which meant not following in his dad's footsteps. His dad, Pat Mahomes, pitched in the majors for 11 seasons. Baseball, though, is still a big part of Patrick's life. In 2020, he became a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals, and it's an easy walk to check in on his investment. The Royals play right across the parking lot from Arrowhead. Mahomes is also a family guy, as we all have seen. He and his wife Brittany have 3 beautiful little children, one of them a newborn.
Yeah.
So a really well-rounded young man.
Yeah. We got a Grand Slam play of the day that we love.
Oh, we sure do. We love this woman. She is such a terrific, nice lady. Madison Keys is also a champion now. She stunned the crowd, and 2-time defending champ Aryna Sabalenka with her relentless fortitude, and it served her well, enabling Keys to win the 2025 Australian Open. It's a feat that may have taken Keys longer than she would have liked, but one that she never doubted would happen.
Over the weekend, American tennis player and former teen phenom Madison Keys winning her first ever Grand Slam title, pulling off a stunning upset at the Australian Open Saturday, beating the 2-time defending champ and world #1 Aryna Sabalenka. Keys getting off to a strong start with immaculate serves, aggressive returns, and powerful ground strokes, racing to an early one-set lead. But the seasoned Sabalenka coming back in the second set. In the final third set, Keys clawing back, digging deep to match Sabalenka's strength, going stroke for stroke with the tennis powerhouse, winning 7-5 and taking home the trophy.
It's jubilation for Madison Keys.
After the on-court triumph, Keys celebrating with her biggest supporters, embracing her coach, who also happens to be her husband.
I've wanted this for so long, and I have been in one other Grand Slam final, and it did not go my way, and I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to get back to this position to try to win a trophy again. And my team believed in me every step of the way, so thank you so much.
We believe in you too. Yeah. You guys, she went pro when she turned 14. Oh my God. 2009. She's about to turn 30. We could not be happier to say that Madison Keys will be on GMA. She's coming to Times Square. She will be here first tomorrow morning. Can't wait.
Not since 2005, since Serena Williams has a player beat the top two players to get to the final and win.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, she beat number 1 and number 2 on her way.
And to win the first set, to lose the second set, that is not easy to do. Yeah. So excited to see your conversation with her.
So excited to see that. And it was so sweet to see her husband and the tears in his eyes. Okay.
She's on a roll.
She's on a roll. Coming up, Kane Brown is joining us live right here in Times Square.
We're on a roll.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. breaking overnight. With the U.S. and Colombia on the brink of a trade war over President Trump's deportation flights, both sides announced an agreement as ICE steps up its immigration crackdown.
GMA Health Alert, the new report on the #1 killer in the U.S., heart disease, the troubling trends, who is most in danger, and the risk factors you can address right now.
This will be an everlasting love.
And love is in the air, and the new Bachelor, Grant, is ready to take the lead.
I'm looking for love. I want a wife. I'm searching for the happiness.
He's here live as he gets ready to hand out roses, and he's saying,
"Good morning, America."
Live from Times Square, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
Will it be an everlasting love? We will find out from the new Bachelor, Grant Ellis, who's joining us live this morning.
That is the question, Robin. Plus, in an unrelated story, there's 18 days until Valentine's Day, and we're going to meet Erin Jensen, who went public with her search for a Valentine's Day date. Hundreds are now vying for the chance to spend that romantic day with her.
I wonder if she's smiling. Will Reed is in St. Louis with two very special guests. Hey, Will.
Hello, hello. Yes, I am. I am at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. We've got Olaf the Clydesdale, and we've got Jake, the 11-month-old star of the new Super Bowl ad. They're both in it, and you're going to see it exclusively on GMA coming up in just a bit.
That is coming up. First look at the top stories breaking today. We start with the breaking news overnight. An agreement between the Trump administration and Colombia to end a standoff over deportation flights and tariffs could have raised prices for Americans on coffee and fresh flowers just ahead of Valentine's Day. I want to go back to our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you again. Yes, the United States and Colombia were on the brink of a trade war. All of this over President Donald Trump's deportation flight. So this tense standoff began after Colombia's president rejected 2 military deportation flights. The Colombian president insisting he would only accept civilian aircrafts, and he also called the United States out, saying they need to treat migrants with dignity and respect. The Colombian president pointing to a deportation flight that landed in Brazil. Brazilian authorities saying that the migrants were not given access to a bathroom or any water. Well, President Donald Trump responding by slapping tariffs and sanctions on Colombia. Experts say all of that would have devastated their economy, but not only that, it also would have raised the price for U.S. consumers on everything from coffee to also flowers right before Valentine's Day. And then you had the Colombian president. Well, he responded by saying if the United States is going to impose tariffs, then he was going to impose tariffs as well. So this tense standoff lasted for several hours. This morning, both sides saying that they have reached an agreement. Colombia's government saying they plan to send representatives to the United States to meet with the Trump administration. But a senior administration official tells me that tariffs or no tariffs, all of this was designed to send a very clear message to either accept those deportation flights or face the consequences. Robin.
Message received. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Now we have the dramatic rescue that was caught on tape. 3 backcountry skiers saved after one fell 1,000 feet. Gio is here with that story for us. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Robin, good morning. Yeah, and they were all saved, all because of this, an iPhone. They were way out of cell phone range with no service, but newer iPhones can actually connect now directly to satellites in space in emergencies, and that made all the difference.
What I'm gonna do is throw this around you like a jacket, okay?
This morning, a dramatic helicopter rescue caught on camera.
Put your arms to the armholes.
The heart-pounding rescue operation happening last Wednesday. 3 backcountry skiers hoisted up by an air support unit near Stevens Pass in Washington state after 2 of them fell roughly 500 feet, sustaining injuries that made them unable to walk.
Hey, it's gonna hurt a little bit, okay? I know.
Rescuers notified of the skiers' fall after authorities in the area received an SOS alert from an iPhone.
They were down at the base of some really steep terrain near some pretty tall trees. It was really, really dark where we were going.
They're probably 400 to 500 feet down the top. Yep, I got them.
The rescuers then making their descent.
It should do it right there.
One of the skiers suffering a broken leg, the other a twisted knee and broken wrist.
We'll try to take all 3 of those so we're not leaving one behind.
They're all hurting, but they're all going to be just fine.
Thankfully, all 3 skiers were rescued and brought to safety.
They're in. They're both in.
Without some sort of satellite communication device, this story could have a very tragic ending because of the temperatures that the skiers were skiing in and the distance they were from any kind of civilization.
And it's simply incredible, not just that they were rescued, but that they were rescued before nightfall, because that night, our GMA weather team that says that temperatures fell below freezing into the 10s. So that's what they would have faced if they were still out there.
Yeah, the teams like that. Boy, all because of that.
All because of this.
All right, Gio, thanks so much. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, the new American Heart Association report. Just out this morning, Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula is going to break down the concerning numbers and tell us what you can do to lower your risk of heart disease.
Plus, Eagles rookie Will Shipley joins us live after scoring his first ever NFL touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Celebrating. Also ahead, Lori Bergamato is here with the tools, how to make the clothing already in your closet look as good as new. And Lara's with the new Bachelor. Hey, Lara.
I am. Speaking of good as new, this guy, everything is coming up roses for Grant Ellis, everybody. He is our new Bachelor. Looking forward to talking to him. We're going to try to get him to share some secrets. Guys, I have already been working on it. The man is a vault, but we're going to try. Coming up on GMA.
We are back now with our GMA cover story, and this morning the American Heart Association released its annual statistical update on heart disease, and our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Tara Narula, who is a cardiologist, is here to break down the findings. Number one killer. So just give us a little bit more on these findings.
The stats are pretty sobering from this report. As you mentioned, heart disease continues to be the leading cause of death for Americans. In fact, cardiovascular disease kills more Americans than all forms of cancer and accidents combined. That's 1 American every 34 seconds. This report also showed that some risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity continue to rise. So almost 40% of Americans around that much are obese. About 50% have hypertension, and almost 60% have diabetes or pre-diabetes. We continue to see disparities along the lines of race, ethnicity, and gender. So Black women have the highest rates of high blood pressure and obesity. Hispanic men have the highest rates of diabetes. It's estimated, Robin, that if this trend continues by 2050, we will see a 300% increase in healthcare costs to our country from this cardiovascular disease if this remains unchecked. Now, where is the good news here in this report? Yes, cholesterol numbers are going down, smoking rates are going down, but we can talk all day about stats. At the end of the day, these are our family, our friends. These are human lives that we need to personalize and put a face on this, because this is our leading health threat.
I love how you do that. Personalize it. Don't just make it a number and a stat like that. Risk factors. So
risk factors. So for men, risk starts to go up over the age of 45. For women, over the age of 55 or postmenopausal. Then we think of things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, inactivity, diet that's poor, sleep, mental health and stress, alcohol and smoking, and then family history. Really important to ask about family history too.
what can we do? What can we do to lower our risk here?
The good
Come
news,
on.
80% of cardiovascular disease is preventable. We always tell our patients that by modifying some of these risk factors. So heart-healthy diets, we think about the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, plant-based or vegetarian type diets. Exercise, about 150 minutes of moderate cardio every week or 75 minutes of vigorous cardio. Sleep 7 to 9 hours. Knowing your numbers. You should know your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your body mass index. And then finally, screening. We talk so much about screening for breast cancer and colon cancer. You never hear people really say, I should get screened for heart disease. But we have risk calculators. We have tests like calcium scores. We can really find underlying heart disease early and prevent it.
So it is possible to screen for it?
Absolutely.
And what did you say, 80%?
80% of it is preventable.
Okay.
Right. So it's in your hands.
That's it. And we're in good hands with you, Dr. Narula. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we just love having you with us now.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And it's time now for Pop News with Lara.
Thank you, Robin. We're going to begin Pop News this morning with a huge Sunday for the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles winning the AFC and NFC championships, punching their tickets to Super Bowl 59. And this morning, in a GMA exclusive, 22-year-old Eagles running back Will Shipley is joining us live. There he is after the biggest game of his young career. Good morning to you, Will.
Good morning. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Are you kidding me? We are so happy to have you on. Congratulations, your rookie year in the NFL, and you are going to the Super Bowl, my friend. How does that sound?
Oh, it's crazy. You know, so many emotions come with it. It's been a dream of mine since I knew what football was. So to actually be here and to be going down to New Orleans here in a couple weeks and have an opportunity to do so it's unbelievable.
You had a tremendous career at Clemson, and then in this game, a huge play at the end of the second quarter. You forced a fumble, you set up a touchdown. Will you walk us through the play, and did it help, in your opinion, did it help the team propel to that momentous win?
Yeah, you know, it was an awesome opportunity. We take a lot of pride in special teams, so, you know, being able to go down there and to be honest with you, I was just trying to get a hat on them, you know, get a shoulder pad on them and just try to, you know, get them down or you know, slow them down in any way.
Yeah.
And yeah, just ended up working out where the shoulder pad went right on the football and it came loose and I felt it like hit my leg, so I was looking down trying to you know, grab it and get it, but it got kicked backwards. And you know, Kenny Gainwell, a teammate of mine, you know, also in the running back room with us, was able to pick it up and we were able to score again before halftime and then get the ball after half. So yeah, I think it kind of gave us that momentum back and gave us the ability to you know, carry it into the second half.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch. And then on top of everything else, you scored your first touchdown, your first NFL touchdown. Will you share with us what that moment was like for you?
Yeah, it was, God, it's just a dream come true, you know. And to do it in the NFC Championship with just with my teammates and guys that I love, and you know, you see Saquon right there, come grab me and celebrate. You know, that's someone I look up to, someone that has taken me under his wing, you know, since I got drafted to this organization, and just, you know, couldn't be more thankful, couldn't be more blessed, and just to be able to share that with my teammates and my coaches, my friends and family who were able to come, you know, watch the game, is a special moment, you know, one that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I bet you will. We loved watching it and loved how Saquon looked like he was celebrating as hard as you were. How meaningful is it to have the support of such a rock star?
Yeah, that's just who he is. You know, he exceeds his reputation, and you know, I've just been so lucky to spend pretty much every day with him. You know, this year and just the year that he's had, being able to witness that, and you know, he sets the standard for our team. He sets the standard for the running back room, and he's just a guy that you want to go out there and you know, play your butt off for. So yeah, he's a great leader, great role model on and off the football field, and you know, couldn't be more thankful to you know, have him by my side you know, throughout my first year.
Yeah, that is tremendous. That is a great mentor to have. He's also made an Eagles fan out of me, fellow Penn Stater. So I'm with you as you all head to New Orleans. How excited are you?
Oh, I'm so excited. As I mentioned before, just, it being a dream of mine since I started playing ball. And, now 15 years later, I'm getting the opportunity to go out there and actually play in a Super Bowl. So, my rookie year. So, seriously, I'm still kind of taking it all in and letting the emotions come in. But, I'm just so blessed. And I can't wait to go, get one more with the guys, compete with my teammates, and, just go out there and have fun, too.
Hey, Will, we'll be rooting for you. Congratulations. Enjoy every moment of it. Thanks for getting up early for us.
Of course,
what a nice
so
young man. And you guys know that. Take care, Will. We'll see you soon. We'll be watching, pal. And you guys know, so it's Super Bowl, and then it's the Super Bowl of romance. Valentine's Day. It's coming, everybody. And one woman has gone viral for her unique approach to searching for a soulmate. This is really kind of fun. Erin Jensen, she works for USA Today, and she grew up with a total love of rom-coms and decided to help enlist her readers to help her find a great date. She writes an article called "I'm 37 and single, so I persuaded USA to find me a date for Valentine's Day." It's a catchy title. Yeah. The nationwide search has been on. Hundreds of men vying for a chance to go on a date with Erin, of course. And right now, we can exclusively announce that she has in fact narrowed down the applicants. She's got 3 finalists.
The applicants.
Yes, multiple applicants. She's going to go on virtual dates with these 3 before picking the one for an in-person date in a Sleepless in Seattle-inspired February date. Erin has picked Casey from Nashville, Michael from New Jersey, and Eric from Utah. And to tell us about her choices, everybody welcome Erin. Hi, Erin. Erin, I love this idea. We're so happy to have you, and congratulations and good luck on this journey. What inspired this approach, and how did you convince your bosses at USA Today?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I don't think anyone's having a better day than me, other than Will Shipley. But so my colleagues know that I have had a little bit of a time trying to find someone. As I mentioned in the headline, I'm 37 and I'm single. And so I was talking with my editor. We were thinking about stories about being single around the holidays. And she said, "What do you really want to write?" And I said, "Oh, you have that moment where you're about to say something crazy and you're like, should we say it? You check internally. We're going to say it. I would love to do a Sleepless in Seattle inspired nationwide search for a Valentine. I've been on the apps, I've been set up. It has not worked out for me. So, can we do it? I think with our USA Today readership, I think we could reach someone."
I think you can too. I mean, first of all, right here, everybody, America, there she is. These are lucky, lucky guys. And what are you looking for in these upcoming virtual dates? What's important to you, Erin?
So the most important thing to me is my faith. It's played such a role in my life, and as I've gotten closer to God, I think He's done such wonderful things for me, like putting me here with you this morning. And so faith is super important to me. I was looking for that in applications. Also, sense of humor. I was joking, the worst thing to me is you saying something like, "Oh, that's funny," instead of laughing. I don't think I could go a whole lifetime with that. Dependability, drive, things in common, and the lifestyle that would be compatible with mine.
All right. Well, Erin, please keep us posted. We want to follow your journey. We're thinking about you and wishing you love. I hope you find him. Yes. And we'll be in touch. Thanks for being with us.
Is it fair to have the dog? That's kind of like the profile pic of the dog.
Wow. He knows.
That's up in the game.
He knows what works. I love this. We're doing a winter wardrobe refresh. I was doing it last night, cleaning out my closet, and now how to freshen up what's still in there. Lori Bergamato has some products that make everything about your closet look fresh. We're going to start with the ironing. You don't need an ironing board. You don't need the heavy iron. It's all right here in the palm of your hand.
That, what you're saying, is actually a real barrier to entry for people. Yeah. And when your clothes, Johnetta, our wonderful wardrobe stylist here, will tell us, when everything looks nice and wrinkle-free, it just looks new. So this is a way that we're going to talk about today. Everything here is under $100, Lara. Most things under $25. And it's going to breathe new life into the wardrobe you already have, so you don't have to spend money on an entire new wardrobe, right? So this is the Nori. I know you were excited when you saw it.
It looks like a giant.
It does, and perfect segue, because there was a big DIY hack on the internet about how you could use a flat iron to press your collar or the bottom of your shirt. Nori has the genius idea that they made it bigger so that it's more accessible, easier to use,
and more efficient.
Exactly. It cuts your ironing time in half, And it has 6 different settings. So you can use it on linen, you can use it on silk, you can use it on a lot of different fabrics. It's great to travel with because I don't know, we were talking about you'll take your item and
I will bring a steamer, like a little small steamer, or I put things in the shower.
And it gets heavy. So, this is light, great colors, under $100, and we have a special GMA code
discount.
for
Check that
one.
out. I was saying I just ordered this exact product and I love it.
I love Alara Spencer.
Not all sweater shavers are the same.
No, they're not.
It's worth it to get a brand.
We've gone through a bunch these are from Conair.
Yep.
The reason we have 2 is one is battery operated, one has a rechargeable battery.
I went with the rechargeable one.
Okay, great.
I hope
smart.
it's the right decision.
I think
hope
it
I don't
is.
regret it.
And it's great if you want to show them how it's done here, Lara. We have a sweater over here.
Yep, and when your sweaters get like those little balls.
Pilled or matted.
Yeah, the pills.
Exactly. And that's nothing makes a sweater look older than when you see those little pills and mats. This takes
shaving
it
as we
right
speak.
off. There you go. It's super easy. It's actually really satisfying and
It really
fun too,
is.
guys. These start at $11. Man down.
Man down.
But they're great and something that everybody should have in their arsenal.
Nothing to see over here. Nothing
Very
to see.
durable. That's
Yes,
exactly. Thank you, Rebecca.
Did we mention durable? Yes. All right. So
Okay, so
onward
let's
and
talk
upward.
about shoes. So a lot of people love to wear Uggs or like a suede or a nubuck
they get
shoe.
beaten up,
But
though,
they get
with
the
the
salt.
salt.
Exactly. The salt, the water, things like that. How can you protect them? We actually talked to somebody who's a shoe repair professional, and he was like, oh, it's all about Tarago. This is what we use. It is the Tarago Nano Protector Spray. It's great for leather, suede, nubuck. And what it does is it just creates an invisible shield.
Yeah.
And sort of the added bonus there too is that it protects against stains.
Oh,
so even
that's
if you
great.
drop food or a drink or something like that on it, that's the thing to get.
That's great.
Let's talk about cashmere. We love cashmere.
Yep.
Quince has really democratized cashmere, making it accessible for everybody. But when you make that kind of investment, you want to keep it.
Yep.
So they have this Quince cashmere comb. It's $10. All you're going to do is it gently brushes away any of those pills or things like that.
So it's similar to the...
Similar, but a little bit different. It's very gentle.
Okay.
So if you have something that you're really worried about or you want to just be extra careful or you want to have that manual control, this is the thing to get.
I had never seen that.
From
Okay,
Quince.
I'm in on that.
And then
finally shampoo for your clothes.
There you go. This is called soap. This is rinse-free. You see, we have my sweater here that's cashmere in there. What's great about this is it's rinse-free and super gentle, comes in great fragrances.
When you say rinse-free,
you don't have to put it in the washing machine. You soak it and then you just let it dry. We got it at Manhattan Wardrobe Supply, and those people know what they're talking about when it comes to taking care of your fabrics.
I love it. Lori, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
guys, the QR codes that you see there, they'll take you to the products on our website. Some really great ideas. Thanks, Laura. Coming up, Will Reeve has the Clydesdales for us. Everyone in that shot is very cute.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
Counting down to the Super Bowl, just under 2 weeks to go. Every year we look forward to the Clydesdales.
So let's go back to Will in St. Louis with the exclusive reveal of the new Budweiser Super Bowl ad. Hey there, Will.
Hello, everybody. So the moment is finally here. We've been with the Clydesdales all morning in their gorgeous stables here in St. Louis. My buddy Olaf here has gotten some glam since you last saw him. Olaf was with us in Times Square last year. Now I'm visiting him along with Jake, who's a little baby Clydesdale, who is the star of the new Super Bowl ad, the 47th, featuring the Clydesdales. You get a first look right here on GMA. Take a look.
Since I was born, I dreamed of being a Budweiser Clydesdale. Only problem is, I was born a donkey.
From donkey dreams,
I must have said something right.
to puppy pal reunions and old school deliveries.
Good job, Bubba.
Budweiser's Clydesdales have galloped into our hearts across 47 Super Bowl commercials since 1975.
Welcome aboard, Hank.
This year's ad, filmed on location at the Budweiser Brewery in St. Louis, Missouri.
Action.
The spot tells the story of our iconic brand tagline, "For all that you do, this Bud's for you."
Oh. Still too little, buddy.
GMA getting a first look at First Delivery, the journey of one strong-willed foal eager to keep up with the herd and take the reins to the top to make a delivery.
The foal is a representation of the grit and determination that make up the American spirit. Really wanted to insert a lot of heartfelt imagery in this commercial that really pulled at the heartstrings, but this year we're bringing a bit of a fresh take by having lighthearted moments and humor.
So, a horse walks into a bar, and
what?
All right, so I'm here with Chris Wiegert, the supervisor of training for the Budweiser Clydesdales, along with Olaf and Jake, who you've seen all morning. And Chris, this is one of the biggest acting challenges Clydesdale has had to undertake. Jake, rolling that keg. You're responsible for teaching a horse how to roll a keg. How does that go?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, it takes months to train a Clydesdale to pull this off. And with foals, it just takes a little bit longer because, you know, they're not used to traveling. They're still growing. They have to learn their cues and their marks. But all that comes together, and in the day, they're stars like we just saw.
How much lead time do you have to know, okay, this is what the ad's going to be, this is what you're responsible for getting these horses to do?
You know, this journey started the day after Super Bowl last year. You know, it was such a hit, and we were so excited, and Budweiser is committed to delivering, so we wanted to get ahead of that and make sure we delivered for our fans, and we did today.
So Jake came right into the world and was training for his big debut in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. You know, he's 11 months old, but we're so proud of what he just did.
Well, you did a great job. You too, Olaf. It's great to see you. I feel like we're old friends at this point. Speaking of friends, there's such a good vibe with these Clydesdales. Describe what the personality is like for those who might only see them in Super Bowl ads and don't get to hang at the stables.
You know, they're all unique and they have their own personalities. And to work with these guys and know them is such an honor. But to be a Budweiser Clydesdales, they have to have the 4 iconic white stockings, the solid coated bay, the black mane and tail, and the white blaze down the face, which is the look that you know, has represented Anheuser-Busch's heritage and has been embedded in the American culture for the last 90 years.
They are an institution. Jake, Chris, Olaf, thank you for having us in your home. Guys, there's the ad. There's the horses.
It was great. Thank you, Will. And all of you at home can see the entire new Budweiser commercial, plus teasers to other ads on our website. Scan the QR code or go to goodmorningamerica.com.
Now, with the new Bachelor, Grant Ellis is a former pro basketball player turned day trader, and he's ready to find love on tonight's premiere episode. And he's here with us now with a sneak peek. It is so nice to see you in person, Grant.
It's nice to see you too. I'm honored to be here. It's my pleasure. I love Good Morning America, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the interview.
Well, we're excited to see you this season. Everybody got to know you last season. You had just professed your love, and then you got cut.
Yeah.
And then you came back.
And then I came back. You got to come back strong.
How are you feeling going into all of this?
I feel great. You know, it's really important that you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I feel like I did just that. And I think that'll really resonate with America, and hopefully they can understand that.
Yeah, I think people are really drawn to you because of that, because there's so much, it feels genuine really coming from you. Jesse Palmer had to really push you because you were torn.
Yeah, I think the group of women that were on the season were amazing, and they brought so much to the table. And you know, it's really hard when you have to let somebody down in a way, and that's kind of something that hurt a little bit.
You think about their feelings because you've been in that situation as well before.
100%, 100%.
I want to take a look at a clip real quick.
A lot of excited women showing up here tonight.
Oh man, I don't know, would be happy or nervous.
All right, we gotta get these nerves out. What do we gotta do? What do we gotta do? What do you need?
I don't know, a little wiggle in my suit. Sometimes for a game I used to do it. So what I do is I grab my belt, and I do this with my feet right here, and I just ride with it, you know? You gotta snap the other way.
All right.
That's the dance right
Whatever
there.
it's gonna take.
Whatever it takes, right?
Dude, I love it.
Thanks, man.
Well, listen, first limo's pulling up. Grant, all right, let the journey begin.
Let the journey begin, and it all begins with the suit wiggle, which I'm sure we're going to see more of this season. You mentioned the women, an incredible group. There's a boxer in the mix, a wedding planner in the mix. Talk about some of these women and give us a sense, a taste of what drama might be coming up, because you know we're here for the drama.
Yeah, some drama is good, not too much, but a little bit. No, the women were amazing. I think the thing that really brought us all together was what they were here for, and that was love. And I think that everybody was genuine, everybody was unique, and everybody was willing to be open. And there's a little bit of drama. That's what happens when there's emotions involved. But, you know, I think we come to a resolution.
Did you approach rose ceremonies having gone through this? Did you approach any of it differently, just knowing what you had felt and all of that?
100%. You know, the inevitable has to happen, but you could have grace, and you could do it in a way where you're thinking about the woman's feelings first and also thinking about yourself.
Thinking about yourself. Okay, we're going to do a very quick lightning round in a rapid fire. What's your ideal date night?
Beach night.
Craziest date this season?
I don't know if I can say.
Okay. Go-to karaoke song?
All of Me by John Legend.
All of Me. Because you're a day trader, what's your top stock pick right now?
Well, I would say the S&P 500 or ClearPoint Neuro. ClearPoint Neuro is a really
but
good
I
stock.
like you did the S&P 500 so people can go out and get a ETF and spend less money and own the market.
Money. And ClearPoint is trading at like $17. I think in the first quarter it's going to have a really good quarter.
This is not stock advice. This is just a conversation with Grant Ellis, who is a day trader, and we love it. And you've got a great season ahead. Congratulations on everything. It's so nice to see you back in the game. And the Bachelor Season 29 premieres tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Episodes will also be available for streaming on Hulu. Had to get that question in there about stocks. Of course I did.
Getting ready for the big game. Super Bowl Sunday, less than 2 weeks away now, and GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamato is back with great entertaining hacks. Hey, Lori.
Hey, good morning. And no matter how much you plan and how many lists you make, something is always forgotten. This segment is sponsored by Walmart, and they have a way to help. Walmart now offers express delivery. Lara, this is so cool. You can get the things you need in as fast as an hour. Or if you're just a procrastinator or decide to throw a party last minute, this is a way to take care of anything you may need, even during the game.
That's super helpful. All right, so let's talk about entertaining. What are the basics before kickoff?
Okay, so it can't be a real big game party without food and watching it, right? So we're gonna kick things off here with the Gourmet air fryer. This is one of their best sellers. I know you probably love an air fryer because you like to eat healthy, right? But everybody likes the taste of fried food, so that's the way you can get it. It's 4 quarts, delicious.
Great for your chicken, wings.
Exactly, even chicken nuggets taste amazing in an air fryer. And then we've got this speaker here because it does get really tunes. You have to have tunes, but also you can play it off your television. So you know how sometimes you have a lot of people in the living room, everybody's cheering at the TV. You want a little bolster of that audio, so that's great. And then with Roku, this is what we use in our house. We love a Roku stream. It makes everything so easy and so clear.
Love it. All right, so now we're talking mid-game. It's almost halftime. Talk to me about your game plan.
Okay, so now we're in it. We're in the game. Okay. So we've got some Glad trash bags here. You know, you gotta clean up. You gotta clean as you go, otherwise you're in for a rude awakening. And that's the whole thing with the Walmart Express deliveries. You can get it in as fast as an hour. So even if you're like, oh my gosh, we're out of trash bags, we're out of, you know, napkins or paper.
It's not lost on me that you chose some red Solo cups, young lady.
So anything that you need, we're gonna move right along and into food. So we talked a little bit about food, but this, I don't know if you know about Better Goods.
No.
It's their Walmart line. This pizza is actually from Italy. Excuse me, Walmart. Yes. It's really tasty. You can just pop it right in. It's delicious, really affordable. And again, you can get it in as fast as an hour.
Fantastic.
We've got some drinks and Doritos. You can't have a party without some chips, right?
Obviously. And now it's time for cleanup.
My favorite part. Okay, so if you've had a mess during the game or even after somebody spilled on your carpet, let's say, we've got this Woolite carpet cleaner. It was actually really funny. We had this out this morning, and a lot of people on the set were like, oh, I use that. That stuff's amazing.
Oh, good.
So good tip. If you actually do have somebody spill at your party, that's the thing to get. We've got some sponges down here, and if you have a fumble off the field in your house.
As happens occasionally.
Listen, you know, it does happen, especially if you have kids. This first aid kit, you really need it. And then we've been talking a lot about cold and flu season, so you need to keep things nice and clean, something that potentially kills viruses. So we've got everything nice and clean, ready to enjoy that big game. My team, unfortunately.
Fast as an hour, right?
Fast as an hour. My team didn't make it, so go sports, go party, because that's really what I'm in it for now.
Go commercials, go party, go chicken wings. All right, these are great tips. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you so much.
Really
That's right. You can get everything as fast in an hour from Walmart Express Delivery, and you can even order anything on Sunday before the big game.
And you know who I'm looking at? Hi, Kane Brown. So excited. Kane Brown is here. So you want some music? Stick with us. We'll be back on GMA.
You know that voice. We're back now with the man who's been called the future of country music by Billboard. Kane Brown has just released his brand new album, The High Road. He's going to perform his current single for us, but first, can we catch up just a little bit, Kane?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Congratulations and thank you. Thank you for the new music, and we hear it is being called your most personal yet. So just the inspirations behind it.
I just had my third kid, so I don't get out much anymore. So I basically just try to find everything I could around me that I've been going through recently.
And you've been very open about everything, all the challenges that you've been going through, and just putting it into the lyrics?
Yes, ma'am. All the way to depression, to my third baby, to my granddad going through Alzheimer's. Yeah.
That's country music. But I'm telling you, the numbers do not lie, my friend. My goodness. I mean, the billions of streams, the 12 albums #1 on country radio, 24 platinum. What drives you? Other than the third, you brought up the third kid a lot, but what keeps you?
I was just an athlete, so I think I'm just competitive. I just compete with myself. Just trying to outdo myself all the time.
Okay, I didn't know. What was your sport?
Football, basketball, baseball, and track.
Oh, is that all? Do you leave anything out? Do you have anybody in the Super Bowl that you're rooting for?
Well, it's hard because Pat's my boy, and then my wife's family's from Philly.
That's going to be a fun household.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Always good to have you here, and great to start the new week with some brand new music from you.
Thank you for having me.
He kicks off the High Road Tour on March 13th. He's going to do that in San Diego. But right now, off his brand new album, here is Kane Brown performing Backseat Driver.
In the morning in a Mickey D's drive-thru. 2 muffins, 1 coffee, and a little bitty orange juice. I saw a man with a sign on the corner. I rolled my window down, handed him $1. That's when I heard her ask, "Hey Daddy, who was that?" Before I could answer back, she said, "Daddy, look, there's a plane in the sky. Are we there yet? Did you just see that dog run by? The squirrels have houses in the trees. White guy puts stingers on honeybees. It's crazy all the things she sees on the side of the road, out of that window beside her. I wish I could be more like her. My little dangling feet, pretty and pink, backseat driver." Later on that day, on the highway back home, I saw a lady in a black Mercedes yelling at her phone. She flew by me with her finger in the air, and I had to act like I didn't care. And that's when I heard her ask, "Daddy, why was she so mad?" Before I could answer back, she said, "Daddy, can you please turn up the radio? Hey, what are you pushing with your feet that makes us go? The squirrels have houses in the trees. White guy puts stingers on honeybees. It's crazy all the things she sees on the side of the road, out of that window beside her. I wish I could be more like her. My little dangling feet, pretty and pink, backseat driver. My backseat driver." Thank you, guys.
And we are going to survive with Kane Brown. We thank him and his band for that great performance, and thank you at home for watching.
Have a great Monday, everyone.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.